Back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood like she Karen Civil when she keep on turning head. Cause when she walk that thing jiggle, jiggle. And we going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back, low, we back again so highly. This that back in my back, low, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back, low, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my back flow. Back in my, yeah, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, this my, back in my bag flow. Back again, yeah, we keep on stacking it, what's happening? Everything in Gucci got me feeling like I'm dapper then. Life has been a movie, yeah, so shout out to the cameraman. Pull up to the scene, it's going down like an avalanche. Steady going up like a travel plan. Homer Simpson face, lucky power plant. Yeah, I'm off that dope, like I'm back again to busy at the Millies. Out on Club Hearst, give the word if it's a city, love forgive me. Still having motion, dog, so why would I slow it? Make it rain on them, bust a band, then you throw it. We was steady having it, even at our lowest. High speed road runner, keep my motor going. Hey, hey. People feel away, but they don't show it. Gotta watch the people that's around you, that you grow it. They be coming around you with some plans to steal your moment. Soon as I bust a nut, she be like, baby, where you going? Never slowing down, it's enough to go around. Yeah, you probably knew it's then, but really you don't know it's now. Niggas let it show and tell, but all my niggas know me well. It was either chase a dream or go to jail, but none of us ain't going. Going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back, low, we back again so highly. This that back in my back, low, we back to change the climate.
The lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharpened, Friday night. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. He talks the craft with steady flow. Steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. From Bowie to Karambit Steel, every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked and they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments he makes.
You've got your sunrise, you caught a prize, your mate and your Johnson. Party nights, summer whites, you, your friends and your Johnson. Rooster tails, water trails, you, your kids and your Johnson. Saturday nights, distant lights, you, your girl and your Johnson.
You and your Johnson, a way of...
Hello, faggot lovers everywhere. I've a message for you from Birdseye. Birdseye faggots will appeal to your whole family. They've made them with lashings of gravy, but they've gone easy on the spice because kids don't like them too spicy, apparently. Birdseye even suggests that people who don't like faggots could enjoy these. They live in hope. You know, that could be right.
Kids don't like them too spicy. Rumor has it. What is going on? Cheeto Ben Hur, I'm starting at the bottom. El Cap Addict, what is up? Channel member, good to see you. Brother Paul Mills, channel member, what is up? Good to see you, buddy. I started early because I didn't see anybody else live. I could have missed them. Kathleen Smith, what's up, young lady? Channel member. We got drink H2O, drink water in the house. You guys are here early. I appreciate it. I figure since we're always up against said faction, you never know how much Discord we'll get into here, or discourse, or conversation. Addicted to Blaze 2, what is up, brother? Good seeing all you guys here. Happy Friday. Marco, what is up? Happy Friday Night Flicks. Joe Isabella, channel member, the man, the myth, the legend himself is in the house. Ryan Ellis, channel member, is in the house. Good to see you, brother. And Angelo was in the house earlier. I don't know if he's back yet. But it is good to see everybody. It is good for the week to be, I guess, over. I guess for me, it seems over too. I kind of run from Monday to Friday, and then I do stuff on Saturdays. I've got to go out to Knives and More tomorrow. It's been raining here all week. It's kind of been crappy, but I think tomorrow's going to be nice. And I'm going to go out there and get some footage for Zach's stuff. Homer, what is up, brother? Ed, what is up, channel member? And just shoot my local knife store. It's really cool. He does a lot of stuff. If you guys like slip joints, he buys tons of estate slip joints. Just, I mean, absolute bangers. Bunch of Benchmades. He's got the new, from what I understand, the ProTech Vero collaboration out there, which I'd like to check out. And he said he'd let me film some stuff. He doesn't have a website, but he does welcome phone calls. So if you guys see a rare Benchmade or something out there that you like, he does business the old fashioned way, but his customers have been his customers for 20, 30 years. That's why he gets such a good selection of used Benchmades, because Mimo, what's up, brother? He will trade people. So if you keep your receipt and you come back 4 or 5 years later, he'll at least give you what you paid for it in trade. What's up, Nick? Good to see you, buddy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. So it is awesome to be here. We're going to have a very good night. I'm going to try not to jump all over the elephants in the room. I am doing more disassembly and scale swaps. I ordered some skiff bearings for a few knives that you'll see coming up. One of them I think was yesterday. My buddy A to Z had a Evo Typhoon that he had a little bit of rattle in. And when I took it apart, it already had skiffs in it, but it had the skiffs in it for the custom model that are sized a little bit bigger in the outer diameter. So they weren't fully seated in the bearing seat, which was causing it to rattle a little bit. Put in the production version, worked great. Well, tomorrow I've got some scales coming in. I've ordered several sets. I've got a set of scales that I'm putting on a Shaman. The scales I ordered from my PM2, I ordered wrong, so I had to send them back. But I've got a set coming for this MSI tomorrow in weathered red. So I'm going to do a disassembly scale swap on this. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add skiff bearings. This is a really big knife. What I didn't really like about it was how sharp it felt down here with the FRN. I'm hoping those AWT scales make it feel softer. I've been real pleased with my Benchmade AWTs. I've got a set coming for a PM2 that I'm going to do, and I ordered a set for this set right here that I hooked Shane up with. I can't reach him, but they're for a PM2. Mimo, I went with the weathered red. I'll let Shane pick these out, but these are skinnies. Hey, Vinny, that's awesome, dude. You probably went by Knives and More. Knives and More is right there on University. It looks like a little hole in the wall, but the guy, John, that runs it, he has a little sharpening wheel back in his office, and he has all kinds of slip joints, has some customs up there, and just a great selection of Benchmades, ProTechs. Awesome, Vinny. It's a good shop. It's my little local shop. We used to have a St. Nick's Knives here, but they've since moved all their operations over to Athens and closed their more local stores. But they've got an online presence. They've done several, like, I guess you'd call them dealer exclusives with Giant Mouse. They've done some dealer exclusives with JK, something obscene company. So yeah, it's Huntsville's got, and Walmart, not only the Civivi, but Walmart Swiss Tech. I've only experienced that one Swiss Tech, the little light or leaked, and I was very impressed with that knife. That knife was, I think it's $39, but I still think it's worth every bit of the $39. It's a great little EDC fixed blade. I'm really stoked to see more and more of these, I guess you'd call them mainstream knife companies do small fixed blades. It's encouraging to me. Where are my history? There it is. Here's my history. All right. I'm just getting my stuff ready for later on if we want to talk about the elephant in the room. But hopefully you guys will like, the disassembly videos never get a lot of views, but the way I look at them is those are videos. Y'all definitely go give Ryan a sub. Let me pull up his channel. We're not taking away from Javon. That's why you have a wrench. And I'm going to go right over here to YouTube. Ryan is a very good guy. If y'all hadn't chatted with him, a huge supporter of the channel. He lives very close to me. He sent me the awesome little Kershaw Bel Air to review. I'm trying to get back here and have my chat catch up where I can actually click on it. There we go. Boom. All right. I was not subbed. I am subbed now. Guys, we're going to go. We have 34 subs on Ryan's page, and I think we can give him a good little boost tonight. Super cool dude. His link is in the chat. He's got some Mangana Steel, Kershaw Bevy. Just getting started. I'm going to get his easy to remember link and drop it in here. And I'm going to pin it. And that way, throughout the night, if y'all are feeling kind and feeling generous, go hook a brother up with a sub. And his URL is now pinned at the top of our chat. And while we're on YouTube, let's jump over here. I don't know if y'all were here last week. We did we were looking at, I think said Stevie brought it to my attention that Smoky Mountain Knife Works had a Instagram post that was showing off a new Rough Rider that looked, let's go back over here. It looked like a micarta version of this knife. And we all know that this knife, the EMP EDC Nimble, has been abused and has been sold in a lot of different iterations, from AliExpress to Amazon to the original EMP EDCs, right? But then to see a USA manufacturer or retailer that I supported, that I used to have an affiliate link for, that I bought thousands of dollars worth of knives from, carry it, I thought was kind of shady. So then there were all these ratioed comments on the Instagram post. Everybody, hey, Richard Hopkins, what is up? Everybody was like, hey, Bama fan, do not give up. You will score Dixon. You're in the state. You will win. But, I thought they'd probably address all the dislike and say, hey, we didn't know or whatever that was in the comments. But then the post just went away. But they deleted the post. And I thought, well, maybe they just decided that it wasn't worth the headache. They were going to get rid of the knife. It's a $22 knife. I would doubt it costs them any more than, what, $4 or $5? Maybe they just said, yeah, it's definitely a not great representation of what we want to do in the community. But I'm going to mute it so they don't come after me. Can y'all see that? So this is their knives of the week. 2 days ago, about 3.7 thousand views. And if you get in here to the 11-minute mark, they are showing off the Rough Rider RR2706, which looks like a liner lock EMP EDC nimble. I don't think anybody can deny that. From the lanyard hole to the handles. Yes, it's cheaper. Yes, I'm not saying that people who don't buy original knives are bad people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for a company that is entrenched in the community, allegedly, to go out and promote a $22 knife that is clearly taking liberty with another American designer's design, even if they didn't know it before they posted it on Instagram, they knew it after their post was ratioed with everybody going, hey, that's a ripoff. But they're still selling it. So I put out a video that's rare for me where I was just given a short little reason why I'm no longer affiliated with Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So right now, when it comes down to affiliate links, I've got a few because I've kind of cleaned them out. Based on the way I buy, I don't do a lot of overseas purchasing. I do sometimes, but usually I try to find companies I do business with and have always supported are DLT, River's Edge Cutlery, USA Made Blades. Buy a lot of stuff off Amazon. I buy directly from TS Prof USA, Skiff, KPL, Rock Scale Designs, Original Goat, TKL, EMP EDC, Big Idea Design Company, and then TRM. I'm not affiliated with TRM at all. And Kathleen, I agree. And I was careful, and I probably made a mistake because it's, on all truth, it's not a clone by the definition, because a clone would be that they're trying to put it off as an EMP EDC. It's a copy. It's a blatant copy. And I would think that the smell test or the way that it looks, that they would say, wait a minute, this could be a problem. You know, now again, it comes back to what I surmise, that the knife community that we kind of exist in is such a small percentage of the business that they do, right? They're a huge knife store. They probably don't notice a dent if people from the community did not support them as much. But I'm kind of bummed out, you know. E-Knives is great. I've ordered E-Knives. I just don't buy from as much anymore. Two of my 3 hinderers I purchased from E-Knives, and they're in Chattanooga or right outside, and it only takes like a day to ship to North Alabama, probably 2 days to ship to you. They are very nice people, and I've met them too at the Nashville show. Yeah, and I have no problem with knives made in China. And guys, I think I've said this before. I'm the one that brought the F and Grow EF225 in, and that's what made me really become a fan of Strider knives. I wouldn't have initially been, but I don't have a problem with people. A lot of people do, but I don't have a problem with people spending their money wherever they want to. And I don't think that someone buying a knife that looks like another knife that's a lot less expensive is taking money away from that company that's selling that expensive knife. And I don't think we can all afford custom knives. I get a lot of that. What struck me harder here is it's a company that goes to knife shows, that walks around as a community participant and dodged what was an obviously toxic social media post where they could have addressed it and just said, hey, our bad. We didn't know. We bought a bunch. When we sell these out, we won't buy anymore. I've heard deeper, darker things about more knives coming, but I haven't seen that yet. But I'm not gonna, there are enough places to get cool knives and support people that, at least today, as of now, I think are doing the right thing in most cases. Richard Hopkins, congratulations. You can always be late because these shows play on replay. I don't hide them after the fact. And, buddy, new knife are always take precedence. What'd you grab, my friend? What did you grab, brother? And I'm getting ready to do a scale replacement on a TRM. Exactly. And this is a husband and wife and a couple of dogs. Yeah, Michael Upchurch, it could be. My understanding is there's a huge connection between Rough Rider and Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Now, I don't know enough about it to get into the politics, nor do I want to. It's not my business. I would just think that they know, for one, that a lot of people in the comment sections were asking about it, right? So you would think that they would take that time to come out and say, hey guys, I hear you, but this is actually a little bit different. This is a thicker knife. Ooh, that's nice. Richard, you showed me that. This is a new Vosteed fixed blade, guys. I'm sorry to go somewhere different, but Richard shared this. And I love that aggressive choil because that's a forward pokey type of knife. It's under 7 inches long. Comes in 3 different fixtures, 14C and G10. Vosteed's doing a good job, in my opinion. 360 degree. I just hope you can take that off. I wonder how hard it is to take that sheath off. Only because I don't like to carry knives on my outside of my belt. I like to pop that off and put an ulti clip on it. It looks very thin, looks very nice. Richard, when you get it, let's talk, buddy. Text me because I'm curious. Me neither, Ginger Fisher. And what I don't want people to think is I would not hold it against anyone for going and buying a $22 Rough Rider to get the feel of that knife. That's not the point. Rough Rider's selling it through Smoky Mountain Knives. I just think that if I was Smoky Mountain Knives and I had a bunch of other knives that I also sold, I would be more. Yeah, they deleted the post, Ed. They deleted the post and just thought it was going away. And I thought maybe that they just figured, we need to get out of this one. But then they showed it, on their new knives yesterday. Right. That's what I thought, Pretty Fly. So, and what I heard in the chat that we were having last week was someone was at Knife Show last year, and this company approached Rough Rider with several of these different familiar designs, and Rough Rider was very excited to see them. Now, I wasn't there. That's totally hearsay. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying, keep on. What's up, YouTube? Music Portal? Keep on the lookout and see if this becomes a trend. If this is just a one-off and they come out and say, hey, we were a little tone deaf on this one. We should have addressed the comments and at least said, hey, we didn't know any better. We've got a bunch of these knives. You can get them for $22, I assure you. And again, somebody commented earlier, I think it was El Cap Addict. Maybe it was some kind of licensing deal. And I would have thought that first, but early on when I went to the comment, when said Stevie brought it to my attention, when it was an Instagram post, one of the first people that commented on it was John from EMP EDC saying, I hope you know that's a stolen design. That kind of breaks my heart. Now, I know if you're going to have a knife made in China, John knows, and he's probably been looking out and watching that happen. But then to see a company that you've probably patronized with your business start carrying a knife that is in that same wheelhouse is that said looks just like it. And that's true, Mimo. But what happened is when they put the Instagram post up that's been said deleted, there were a bunch of comments. But one of them was John Rusk, the EMP EDC CEO, who said, hey, I hope you guys know that's my stolen design. And they had to see the comment. So even if they didn't know until that point, I think that would have been a good time to come out and make a short video and going, hey, we didn't know. We've got a bunch of these we got to sell, but we're not going to, we didn't know that we were taking somebody's design and we feel bad. And, let's just get these out of inventory and we'll move on and be more careful next too. And you're going to see them on Temu, on AliExpress, whether they're a design that's been sent to China or a design that China's bought, because China's pretty much can replicate just about anything. But then to have those knives come back to the States and be sold, hey, Kevin Smith and Knives, channel member, what is up, buddy? And then be sold to the States by one of the retailers that I know I patronize. I used to have an affiliate link from them up until like yesterday. Maybe before then I took them off, but it's just, they'll be back. Who missed out on the ABW? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Sterling Stoots, it'll be back, buddy. Cart snipes happen all the time. I've been cart sniped on more GECs. Luckily, I don't chase them anymore. But yeah, that seems sneaky to me too, Ryan. I mean, if and I've run a business before, so if it was my business, I'd be like, hey, no harm, no foul. We apologize. We weren't aware. We thought it was a cool knife, $22. Even if they said we're going to sell off the inventory, I think the community's understanding. I don't think they care. I think the community is such a small percentage of their sales. If you look at what they sell to the community, nice knives versus what they sell, the bulk of their yearly sales, the knife community probably makes up a very small part of it. Their enthusiast community probably makes up a very small part of it. I've never been in Smoky Mountain Knives, but I've heard when you go in that you're kind of greeted with a lot of the inexpensive type gas station knives. And then you have to kind of go in the back of the store to pick up the nicer knives or ask where they are, stuff like that. Smoky Mountain Knives has done other shady stuff, in my opinion, when they ran Axial knives out of the store. And USA Made Blades, they do a great job. There are a lot of good companies out there. Again, I've never had a bad experience from DLT. There's a company called North River Knives in Alaska, or Northern Knives, where I ordered a Malibu. They pulled a solid customer service move that I would have never expected them to pull. A knife store that you don't hear very much about. I think it's Northern Blades. Let me see if I can find them. Hold on. I should give them a shout out. Northern Knives. Yep, this is them right here. They're in Alaska. And I ordered a PM2 or a ProTech Malibu from them one night late. This came from Alaska in about 3 days, by the way. But I ordered the smooth instead of the contoured, or not the contoured, the one that had the pattern on it. So I wanted the pattern, and I emailed them and I said, hey, I made the wrong order. Is there any way I can switch it out? They carry McNeese, they carry all kinds of stuff. Is there any way I can switch it out instead of canceling my order and doing another order? Can I just switch it out and pay you the difference? And they were like, John, which knife did you want? They had no idea I had a channel. I was just a customer. This was probably before my channel. I said, well, I really wanted the pattern one, but it's like $22 more, and I'm happy to PayPal you that $22 more. And they go, hey, we just appreciate your business and want you to get the knife that you want. We're shipping it out today. And I mean, guys, that's strong. They didn't have to do that. I didn't expect it. But Northern Knives carries a lot of your high-end knives like DLT and some of these others. And anybody that pulls a solid like that, and I think I wasn't sharing. I don't think I was sharing. Yeah, I was. But here's their link. It might seem that they're kind of far away in Alaska, but I assure you they ship super quick. Kevin Smith, what'd you pick up, buddy? Let me go up here. Let me go up here and see what you picked up. Yeah, I've had a couple of new ones come in to check out. I'll tell you who's been sending the bangers. Richard Hopkins sent me a knife to check out. He got in on this Kaiser Kickstarter for this little buddy, and he picked up, I guess, 2 as part of his prize. This one they call the Dalmatian. It's a small EDC knife in Nitro V. They're also going to make this knife in S35VN, in AEBL, and in 3V. So it's going to be different price points, different handle materials. But again, another small knife from Kaiser that I think is very cool. Do not know the price on this yet, but I have a feeling that it's going to be economical. You're exactly right, Vinny. And when I was at the Rocket Mountain or Rocket City Custom Knife Show, I bumped into Mad Dog Forge. And Mad Dog Forge is out of either South Alabama or Tennessee. I can't remember. I've got AJ's card. I need to pull it. But I've started following him on Instagram. This is his smallest knife, the Runt. But he makes beautiful knives. And he makes the sheaths in his living room, makes the knives in his garage. And that was a custom knife that cost me well under $200. Made by hand. And his name is Ash Humphreys at Mud Dog Forge. Killer guy. And I'll show you another one I picked up at that same show. This is a knife you might know about, Vinny. Dustin Driver, who's over outside of Gunnersville, Driver Defense Knives. I've got a couple of his fixed blades. This is his little Ricochet. A little small EDC knife, really beefy, Magna Cut, full tang, G10, super sharp. You can stick it through a car door if you wanted to. And just a little winner. Yes, Ballman Knife and Tool is gorgeous. I've never tried one out. Let's go to their Instagram. Hold on a second. And I'm not going to talk about Smoky Mountain Knives anymore. I put out a video about it. I rarely ever do that, but it bothered me. It really did. Because they seem so proud. And I know that they've got to know by now. The Ballman Knife and Tool. Whoops. Make some little bangers. Clipper Slims. I love a little handmade knife. I love this one. That's the one I almost bought. Not this one. It had scales. They had these at River's Edge Cutlery or DLT. Hold on. Let me do something. River's Edge Cutlery. Bald Man. Here are a bunch of them on River's Edge Cutlery. The one, I love that. Love it. Out of stock, but I love it. And the one that I'd seen that I was just showing y'all a picture of was this little guy right here. It sold for $144, just a little Magna Cut slicer. I love their knives. Benny, that's a great knife. That little one, the Albatross. Let me go back. Yeah, they're gorgeous little knives. I hope you love it, dude. The Albatross is, I mean, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous little knife. Let me share it. 6.5 inches, perfect size. Like a very slicey Magna Cut grind. I don't know why, but I love little fixed blades. I'm carrying a neck knife tonight. One of my little Jason Grant custom J-Cals with a dark Ultim handle. This is a little piercer. Mimo, I don't know how much heat they're getting, and if they've got 450 in stock, I've heard that the company that's making these is not Rough Rider, that they've approached Rough Rider, and I've heard that they've got a lot more coming their way. it'll be interesting to see if the community puts up, somebody that's got some kind of pull can, draw attention to it. I don't know if people care about it besides me. I care about weird stuff. Richard just found the Kaiser Buddy pre-order, $57 and Nitro V. Are all these Nitro V? Yeah. They're also going to be available in different materials between 52 and 57. That's acrylic. Notice the dog paw. The designer named it after his dog, Maxim Epflensiv. No wonder I couldn't pronounce his name. Thanks there, Richard, for sharing that with me. I thought it would be under $60, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, Mimo, I guess, and I wish I was more in. I wish I'd followed it more to see, because I didn't read all the comments. We just looked through some that night, and it seemed to be ratioed where a lot of people were saying, "Hey, that's not real cool," blah blah blah. But I would think if I was a River's Edge Cutlery DLT and the community was part of my soundboard to what I should sell, and they were a vital part of my business, I would be very sensitive to their reaction. If they were just part of the business, a small percentage on a spreadsheet, and I've got a bunch of these knives that I can make, if they cost me $6 and I'm clearing 13, 14, it may be a money over matters, right? I hate to think that, but I don't have a link for them. And I won't be using them. Maybe they'll come out and say, "Hey, we made a mistake." And I'll make a video saying, "Hey, I'm glad to see somebody do the right thing." You know? And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't know. I won't give them the benefit of the doubt that the post just disappeared, but maybe they're trying to figure out how to handle it. Looks to me like they did. We're going to try to sell it online through our YouTube page. Let's go to their website. Y'all chat amongst yourselves. Go pull up Rough Rider. And see if it pulls up here. Scroll. Yeah, there it is. Share the screen. I wonder. Feels great in the hand. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we can leave a comment. It looks like it's got 3. This is a complete ripoff. Keep clone. Blah, blah, blah. I guess I can't unless I buy one, or maybe I can. Well, my name, Evans. Email address, Bonds, Knifeflix at Gmail. .com. Take a picture, share with them. Whoops. and share it with them. Bear with me. I apologize. Call this the Rough Rider knot. All right. Here, let's go iCloud. I apologize, guys. You know me, if I get stuck doing something, I will do it. Going to take a sec for my picture to come up. So in the meantime, we will just wait. We will add the picture. I don't think John even wants that. Yeah. Not NOS. You want the medical grade. You get into the NOS, not good. Not good at all. Again, it's been years and years and years since I've flown that route, and I don't recommend it to anybody. Why is my picture not downloading? All right. Hate it when it does this. Let's go nimble. Save. All right. Now it's saved. Now let's do this real quick and we'll get back to what we were doing, our regularly scheduled program. Boom. Boom. Let's cut that. Drop that. Here. Kill that. Upload a picture. All right. Good. I hope they make better decisions. All right. We're done with that. I have left another comment. I've commented on their YouTube. I've commented on their Instagram. Rody7420. What is up, brother? Good to see you, man. Milda Milton. What is up? Josh Worth. What is up? Who else have I missed? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, I know $22 is not going to cut into what EMP's selling, but it's just disheartening, right? I would be disheartened. I don't design knives, but I can understand how anyone who did would. And it's different to see them pop up overseas where you don't have that kind of, any kind of, you know, ramification that you can do or repercussion, but just disheartening. Just disheartening. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick action break and we're going to see if this guy makes the jump. Nope. That action break was recorded. We saw it, but he didn't make it. He weaved when he should have woven. But what is everybody carrying today? I've got a Strider S&G in my pocket with a MX gear clip on it that makes it much more enjoyable to carry. I've got my little neck knife, my little J-Cal, and then I've got Lamia in the pocket today. That is a great one to have in the pocket. I've got one sitting on the table. And then I've got a 1931 Leatherworks slip with my Hedgehog. Paul Mills has got the mini FSD. Why didn't he go the mini FSD? Mini FSD and an AWB slip joint as usual. Mimo has got the Gail Bradley 2 and Crewwear micarta. Very nice. Rody's got his Hinderer clips. That's the winner. Howdy, Brown Sugar. How are you, young lady? Good to see you. And I had a full carry today. I didn't go out too much because it rained here, but I did have my neck knife on. Richard's carrying the Voss Deed Porcupine and the Kaiser Drop Bear Fixie. I hope you're liking that Drop Bear Fixie, buddy. That's a great little knife. I've got my clip point out here. A little bit smaller than the Drop Bear. And just a great, great size. I think I like the drop point from a sliciness standpoint. And then they make a sheep's foot. And those two dots on my fingernail are where a saw blade, two little saw teeth went in my fingernail, hurt like fuck. Made flipper knives no fun. You'll get one, Rhodey. Don't give up, buddy. Do not give up. And you might even reach out. What I like to do, and it doesn't help all the time, but it helped with all my Asher purchases, is reaching out to those guys through Instagram and saying, hey, I missed out. I love your knife. If there's any way you give me a heads up so I can be more prepared, just something where you're kind of wham. Sometimes you'll be surprised. I'll just leave it at that. Not always will you be surprised, but they know that you're very, very interesting. 3.0 watts? Let's 3.0. Josh said 3-inch. Oh, Eclipse. That would be cool. I saw those when they came out last year at some point. I've got a 3-inch XM18 Skinner and a 3-inch Warney, and I really like them. People have said that unless they're flipperless, they're not very comfortable in a normal hand. I've got a 3.5-inch hand. I guess it's medium large. And this little guy and my Warncliffe fit perfectly. I would imagine the Eclipse would be a winner. I've got a flipperless 3.5 Eclipse that I really love. I mean, it's bigger than a knife that I need on the daily, but it's a knife I love carrying on the daily. Probably more than my XM18. It's the one I've tricked out the most with hardware and a scale. But it is hard to beat the Lamia. This is a crewwear Lamia from Friday the 13th, last Halloween, I think, Gen 4 maybe. And to me, it's just an excellent, excellent knife. It's probably my favorite USA made knife. I still have a knife that most people can't understand why it's my favorite. But my number one in my entire collection, in terms of carrying, cutting, is my Liang Ma Field Duty EDC. This knife has the best detent. For me, it has the best ergonomics. I love my American-made knives for a different reason, but for a carrying, cutting tool, this is a great knife. I wish they would bring it back. I've told Leon this. I like it so much better than my 3.5, even though my 3.5 has very good detent. I think the blade hole opening in the 3.5 is a little bit excessive. I don't like it when my finger can go through it like a hot dog down the hallway. I like to have to catch it in there because see, I almost failed it there. I like to be able to just give it a good old snappy. It was, Lefty hung on to that knife for almost 3 weeks. I heard he recently sold his Stitch Custom. It might not have even been recent. But I went for a while where I wouldn't sell any. I still don't sell knives. I give them away, but I don't get attached. There are a few knives I get attached to. A lot of my USA made knives that it took me a long time to acquire, they've got a special place for me, and some of them that have been gifted to me or that I bought from a friend, like this knife that I bought from Dark Gravity that I swore I wouldn't sell without giving him a chance to buy it back for what he sold it to me for. This is a Michael Ziba S5. I have attachment issues too, Mimo. And even if I don't carry them every day, that used to be Kevin's thing. If I don't carry it, I'm I'm not going to hang on to it. Well, I'll sit and watch knife content and I'll have a knife case beside me and I'm constantly fiddling with knives. They're kind of like my inanimate objects. I play with them often. I enjoy them very much. And I am looking forward to tomorrow putting scales and bearings on this knife and hoping I don't mess it up. I put bearings on my stitch and my memory serves me. It went very well. I might need to go back and watch that video, but I shouldn't have a problem with the MSI. I hope not. So that video might come up tomorrow afternoon. I've got another one where I put just skiffs in a knife, but I think those are, unless you've got that knife and you're looking to skiff it up, nobody's going to watch those videos. And I get it. I totally get it. I ain't got a problem with it. Yeah, I need to go check my comments to see if I'm getting hate on my Smoky Mountain Knives video. That's why I don't get in the comments. I don't want to get pulled down by hate. I'll go in and read them. Oh, Shady, that's sweet, dude. If y'all done, y'all could have coordinated it. And like I said, Michael is I would reach out to him. You never know when he can put one together to get one more order out for somebody who's cares enough to ask. That guy is so, what would you say, humble, appreciative of business. What's up, Satisfaction? Good to see you, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Said Faction later tonight. Mikey, they'll come back. There'll be a drop before long. Those little knives are so popular. I see them on the secondary quite a bit. And I'll tell you what else was cool that we looked at during the live were Serge's knives that he released. I've never owned, well, I've got one of his Surge utility knives. It's got a great spring and a great build, but I'd like one of his regular slip joints. An M390. Although that's a good one. That is a winner. So has anybody else had new knife days this week? Ron Crow's doing a giveaway tomorrow at 4:30, I'm assuming, Central Time. Let me go up here and find Ron, and we'll put a link to that. Boom, boom. There it is. Live. Upcoming at 16:30, which I think is 4:30 my time. So guys, here's a link to Ron Crow's live tomorrow afternoon, Saturday afternoon, or on his channel. I'll drop his channel in because it's usually easier to find for me lives just by going to the channel. I don't even put my own links in because they don't make sense to me. They've got all these weird characters. Let's just do that. Copy. Drop that in for Brother Ron. So what's the latest cool stuff y'all have gotten in? I've got a cool something coming that I'm going to do some mod work on, which is kind of funny coming from me. Scale swapping work. I hear fireworks going off. Oh, sweet, Mimo. Did you trade for it or pick it up on the secondary? Some of those are the best that you can get. I mean, don't say anything on them. You don't know much about them. They're just winners. eBay. Very nice. Must be a concert in the park or something. I don't know if y'all can hear those mortars going off. A BK knife luck at the drop a few weeks back. Natural micarta, very nice. You're loving those. I'll do that. I'll run through and find a company like Driver Defense or T. Denny Knives or Jacob Creates, and I will just go on a roll. And there's so many more knives out there. I mean, I see so many cool ones. When I saw that Edgy Blade Works little fixed blade that they did a couple of months ago, that custom, I was hooked. Level on up. What is up, brother? And Vinny, I need to give you a wrench. Hold on a second. Let me make sure you've got a wrench. Uh-oh. Gotta go here. Here. All right, Vinny, you can post links and you can get yourself as a moderator, standard moderator. Boom, boom. Maddie and Stevie don't know, but they have special power on my channel. Oh, dude. The X5. XM8. Don't feel bad. Congratulations, Josh. You deserve it, buddy. Curtis Custom F3 large warning. Beauties. Winning. I think that is hey, if you can search and make it happen, don't feel guilty. I went through times when I could make all kinds of crazy shit happen. And looking back, I'm like, it would be nice to have that money. But at the same time, no, I've got the knives. And when you save up and you're trying to get certain stuff, it makes it that much more, to me, cool. So I've got a selection of American knives out tonight. I've got the Chupacabra, which does not have any kind of lock fail. I've tested this. I didn't know there was a problem with the first run of them, but I beat the heck out of this after Sharif brought it to my attention. I love this knife for $249. I think it's a winner. I've got probably my favorite USA knife, my SPK Lamia out. A close second, my Mac 2, McNeese, my favorite Medford, my S90V Slim MIDI from DLT in a drop point. Fantastic knife. And then one I don't carry enough, but I really like and appreciate it, my little mini Arius. I love that knife. The full-size Arius was way too big for me. The little one's just perfect. And then my clips, one of my Hinders, my Axial Knives, Shift OTF Tanto in MagnaCut. I don't know if you're going to hit fireworks. My little titanium MagnaCut Bulldog. And then lastly, my ProTech Mordax. Not the drop Mordax, but just the ProTech Mordax. What is up, Kyle Coonley?
How we doing?
And weird. Uh-oh, where'd you go?
I'm here.
There you are. Doing good, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing.
Doing? You had a close call today, or did you have a narrowly averted, or did you not avert?
I did not avert, but that's all right.
Hey, things happen when you're spending that much time with open blades. I've never thought about. Now, I'm worried about my cat jumping into it, but I've never worried about hurting myself on it, but I'm sure you can.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's part of the business. I mean, when you sharpen knives, you're gonna get nicked here and there. And it's usually, 4 to 6 weeks, and it's usually just a baby one. But nothing too bad, but today was a little heftier.
Were you on a fixed system?
Yeah, it was a random, just completely stupid little slip up that I wasn't paying attention, and that's what happens. So, and I'll show you here in a little bit what happened, but not the actual wound, but how it happened, so that way you can avoid it. But it didn't feel good, that's for sure.
Man, they never get easier. You would think the more that we cut ourselves, we get a little bit used to it. But when I slammed that saw blade through my finger, I couldn't flip a knife on the back side of it. I didn't even have a cut on it. I think it's just like you said, old skin, old muscles, old bones. I've got osteo everything.
I mean, the cut itself didn't hurt. It was just more of like the aftermath once you're trying to get it to calm down and a little bit of soreness. But I mean, it's already much better than it was earlier.
Sierra's asking, no stitches. Were you able to taper down?
Yeah, I wasn't going to go anyways. So what basically happened was it's on this hand, but it took between the first knuckle and second knuckle, it took like half to 3/4 of that skin and just slice the top of it off. And then there was a flap. So what I did is I just pulled it back over, got the bleeding to stop, put a towel on it and some butterfly bandages, and then wrapped it up with a Band-Aid, Neosporin, and some tape. And
so you kind of filleted it where it'll probably grow back?
More than likely. So I mean, it wasn't a straight down. It was a slice across the top where it just took off a chunk of the top layer of skin. It wasn't like it was going straight down into the bone. Luckily. So.
And it had to be a sharp knife, and it was in your clamps.
Yeah. So it was basically like this. So it would have been like that, and I was done sharpening. I was actually stropping, getting ready to be done with it, and I was going, pulling back, just going like this, just going reverse passes to strop it. Well, as I went up, the parking brake hit this thing, or the parking brake hit the top part, but didn't go in, so it started to fall. So instantly, I went to grab it. And when I did, my finger just went right across the blade.
Because you didn't want to. Oh, dude, that hurts me just thinking about, because you went by it so fast, didn't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was painful. It wasn't like it was. But again, it's stupid. When you're around sharp objects, then if something drops, it drops. Just don't mess with it, but it's natural instinct, something starting to fall, so you start to grab it, and when you do, it hands out, and I went straight across the blade.
And you're a pro, so if you can do it, any of us can do it.
Neil, yeah, that's what I have. I just call them butterflies because that's kind of what the old-fashioned name for them is. But yeah, steri strips, that's what I have. But that just goes to show that when you take your eye off the ball for a little bit, you can definitely get hurt. So just be careful. The funniest thing is the worst one that I ever had, but didn't do any damage, that just absolutely shocked me, was one time I had a blade set up like this, but it was when I usually sharpen, I have it closer to me, like towards the edge over here. And I had dropped my towel or something that went down underneath the desk right here. So I went to reach down to get it. And when I did, my head went forward and my forehead hit the blade.
Oh my God.
And I felt it. And like I instantly reached for my head. I'm going, oh God, I just sliced my forehead right open. And no, luckily it didn't even cut it. So I don't know.
Scraped it kind of like you would.
I luck of the draw. I don't know what happened, but it did not actually cut me at all, which is crazy. So, Kathleen, I actually don't keep this here. This is off to the side. So normally I had this pulled up towards me further on the desk and locked down when I'm sharpening. And otherwise, I just push this back towards the back, and I'll have my keyboard. I put it here because what I have is my computer's off to this side. My monitor is mounted up here on the wall. So I have the phone over top on a mount. So then that way I'm looking straight ahead to see the monitor, and that way I can type if I need to. But
then you can move your keyboard if you need to sharpen.
Yeah. So then when I'm sharpening, I have everything right here, and I can actually just watch videos or watch TV or whatever when I'm sharpening. So
that works out well.
Yeah, because I got one of those super ultra wides at 21:9 width, like 32 or 36 inch monitor. So
you still have it mounted up there? Or did you lower it a little bit?
It's mounted up there. I need to lower it still. I just haven't done it.
Well, you're probably getting used to it by now.
And that just kills my neck if I'm up there too long at it. But
what's up, Dwayne Letterman? Good seeing you, buddy. Yeah, I didn't go to my buddy's funeral today, dude, up in Jackson, Tennessee. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
I felt, it's one of those things. I talked to my mom about it for a while, and he would get it. He would totally understand. And I don't know if our other friends went, because I talked to some of them, they weren't sure. But I've never met his kids. He's got 4 kids. And, it just didn't seem right. Hey, Amsler Knives. Amsler Knives makes my little hurricanes and my little pinion. I don't know if you've seen these knives.
Yeah, I've seen the Hurricane before. I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, and the little pinion's his new one. This little guy right here. Just a little Magna Cut slicer.
Okay.
Cool guy. I learned about him through Tri-State EDC about 3.5 years ago.
Yep. I remember them talking about that. So, yeah, that was my exciting news today. Nothing too crazy, but.
So is it hurting now, or?
No, not too bad. I took a Tylenol a little bit ago. I don't like to take them, but my neck was hurting too, so I went ahead and took that both. And I just figured kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
No doubt. Well, hopefully it'll heal up smooth. Yeah, Amazon, I've never tried a Wicked Edge, but those seem like you could stick yourself either way, going right or left.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of issues with those, but having the blade facing up to you where you're constantly pushing your hand right next to it is kind of wild.
And when you see them at shows doing it, they're rolling through those things.
Yeah.
You would think if they ever had a bad slip, it would be a bad slip.
Yeah, they could, especially if it's on downstroke.
But then you got people like Jared, he'll drop a knife, it'll open, and he'll step on it. So none of us are what would you call it, immune from crazy shit if we play with knives.
Yeah, there's always a risk.
I still don't understand how that happened.
Freak luck.
Yeah, I mean, just the right amount of freakiness, in not a good way.
No.
So, Kyle, what have you been sharpening lately? Just a variety of stuff?
Yeah, I've got finishing up the last batch of Brian's that I did. Then I had a client with some pretty nice customs in that I just got done. And then I just got a box in from Shane with a bunch.
Hey, Louie.
So,
yeah, one of those that you're sending my way, I've got scales that I'm putting on for him.
Right. Yes. So I'm still swamped right now.
That's a good problem to have. You can kind of stage your days accordingly.
Yeah, you just got to plan for it, because otherwise they'll
slip away.
Yeah, and then just that way. Right now, I've been turning people away just because I don't want to get overwhelmed with them. So,
and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. I think that's the responsible way to do it. You shouldn't take on more than you feel comfortable, even if you can get them done X amount of time down the road and the customer's fine with it. You don't want that hanging over your head necessarily.
Well, my response has always been I don't like to keep them longer than I have to. So my turnaround times I try to keep, a week to 10 days tops. And if I've got a bunch of like batches of knives like that, it's 10 days to 2 weeks tops. And that's only because I'm getting batches of 10 to 12 at a time. So just trying to, and then being able to have other stuff too. So I'm just trying to do it accordingly. And I still think that's very fair because most people are much slower than that, but I don't like to be. So
I was going to show y'all something I watched today, and I shared it with Shane, but I don't know if he saw it. Have you ever watched this little and you're probably familiar with this, but Jacob over at Very Good Knife Company, right?
Yeah, I don't know him, but I know of him.
Well, he did some sharpening today, and he's got this little jig. He uses this wheel that's this slower wheel that he uses for a lot of stuff. That one right there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But see that little T thing?
Yeah.
Going across there?
He's using that as his angle guide.
Yeah. So what he does, and I was trying to figure it out. He sets it, and then he just uses that.
Yeah, they have the same angle guide for like the Tormex.
What's that?
So they use the same type of angle guide for Tormex sharpeners. So,
I mean, I guess that's a good way to get a working edge on a lot of knives.
I mean, it puts an edge on. I wouldn't. I'm sure he probably does okay and gets them sharp. I don't like bell edges, but
is a bell edge a convex?
Well, but usually it is, but it's also a belt edge is typically you have a higher likelihood of burning it and not having a uniform edge. You don't have the control that you do with the stone.
Right. Gotcha.
In regards to Richard, I'm not sure which knife is yours, buddy.
Yeah, Richard, throw a little identifying information.
What's up, Louis? Sierra Rick, thank you. I'm not sure that I recognize the screen name, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, let's go back and if y'all haven't had a chance to sub to Ryan, let me pull him up again. Kyle, you might not have had a chance.
For Ellis?
Yeah. I wouldn't sub to him, and he just started putting out videos.
Oh, I wasn't planning on subbing to him.
I didn't think you were, but you might catch a moment of weakness later.
I like watching woodworkers.
I saw something really funny today. You know who Sean Strickland is?
Yeah.
You know how he hates influencers?
Yeah.
People on the internet, like that's why he beat up Sneeko so bad. I don't know if you remember that. Sneeko, one of the influencers, got in the ring with him. And so he went about 3 minutes going soft with him, and then he just beats the shit out of him in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, just toying with him.
Until the last 20 seconds. Then he was trying to hurt him. Well, this other guy called him out last week because he wanted to spar with him. And Sean Strickland was like, sure, come on. And dude, Sean Strickland has got this guy Sean Strickland outweighs him by a good bit, but the guy's got his gloves up towards his end. Sean Strickland starts dropping fucking elbows, dude, and throwing knees. Just ragdolling the dude. But it's funny, and he says, these people are the poison to our kids' brains. And if they call me out and they want to be punished, it would not be fair for me to not punish them.
Yeah. Ron Crow, no, I've got bench stones as well too. It just depends on what I'm using it for. So I use different tools for different tasks. Richard, I got that box in from Shane today. I haven't looked into seeing what all is in there yet, but I will. I'm not sure. Is that one coming directly from him, or is that one getting scales on it from Brian? Because those are two different.
They come two different routes. Yeah.
Packages. So if it's coming directly from Shane, then yeah, I probably have it. If it's coming from Brian, I don't have it yet.
Hey, the Knight's Edge is officially a knife guy. He unboxed a knife today. His first Open L, which I still have never owned. And I'd like to have an Open L. I think those ones is it Orion, David over Orion that's doing?
I don't have one either, but if I were, then it would be David's.
Dude, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy watching those.
Sierra, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't.
Oh God, Ryan, I didn't. Hold on. Let me go in here. I didn't turn them to off.
I'm not sure if I remember your previous name, but I appreciate it.
Let me go in here and fix this. All right. You shouldn't get any more ads. If you do, let me know. If you do, let me know. No, I always forget to go in there because I have to go in and I have to start that. After I go live, I have to turn that on so I can see the comments. Then I have to go check Rumble and see if it's live. And then I always forget to go in there and change that. I want a leather sheath for a number 8 open.
Richard, if it's coming directly from Shane, then it's probably in that box. I just have not had a chance to open it up yet. Once those will get started, probably beginning of next week. Once I get caught up with these, so
yeah, you can only manage what you can manage. I can't imagine having a bunch open looking at me.
Well, I just then also just keeping them organized because like the ones I'm doing with Brian, those are batches. They're coming in all from him, but then I finish them up and then I have to send them out individually to all these people. So then I'm trying to track and make sure that I'm doing invoices and everything else for it. So I'm just trying to organization not get too far ahead of me.
You're doing more than just sharpening knives. You're managing the final delivery of said knives.
Yeah.
Logistically.
Well, also doing my normal invoicing and all that kind of stuff as far as.
Sure.
So.
Hey, Kyle, is it usually, to go back to your field or your stone or your fixed angle versus your bench stones, is that typically the knife dictating it or the customer's request, or is it both?
It's going to be the knife and or sometimes what I'm in the mood for. So like I had a knife in recently that no matter what, I tried everything. I tried these clamps. I tried one of these clamps. I tried the central clamp. I tried another fillet clamp I had, and I couldn't get it in to stay stationary.
There wasn't enough flat to hold on to it?
Well, it was a dagger, but the dagger was so steep that there was no flat right at the peak.
I got you.
No matter what, it was going to waver. So there's no way to hold it. And I really wanted to do it on the fixed angle because I was trying to be super, super precise with that because it had a tip that needed repaired. So I was trying to keep it as accurate as possible to match that edge up. But there's just no way to hold it in there. So I ended up doing that one by hand. Mimo, no, I did not, but that probably would have
jabbed you in the head.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like, because you're an accomplished sharpener, so you can probably feel like you can get them sharpener on a bench stone, can't you? Sharper.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think that I don't believe in that premise that the difference between having a stone in your hand or on the table versus in a system makes any difference as far as sharpness. I think that some of that is pride,
ego,
and common fallacy. I mean, I'm never going to say that it's not a skill set to do it by hand, but I don't see any difference as far as end results. And if you're technically looking for accuracy and looking for perfection, then using a well-balanced machine is definitely going to be more accurate than
your hands.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, are there people that can do it? Of course. Yeah. I mean, there's talent everywhere. But as a general rule of thumb, I mean, that's why there's a lot of robotics in medicine now, because it's more accurate, more stable than using by hand. I mean, there's always more room for error there. So I don't always use a system, but if I'm doing client work, I like to use it because I'm trying to be the most accurate for them, unless it dictates that I just can't based on restrictions. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it where I stand with those. But I mean, I think that using stones by far outweighs any belt and or, I mean, the Tormec's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't see it as the same as a stone. I mean, it's a diamond wheel or CBN wheel or a dressed wheel, but it's not the same quality of stone typically, and it's still motorized, so you still have a chance of technically burning it. Mimo, but as far as by hand, there's, how to say it, you get used to certain angles and you can almost feel what that is. That's just muscle memory. But to go, I mean, 17 to 20, yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna feel, oh, this is 17, and then, oh, this is 17.4 that year, or 17.3. You're not gonna notice that.
Yeah, that's not within the threshold of being probably able to determine.
But yeah, you're gonna be able to tell, and a lot of times that's going by feedback. Anyways, you're laying the bevel on there, seeing what you're looking for, and adjusting. So, I mean, if you know you want to lower it, then you just look at your bevel and see how it's reacting, and you adjust from there. And then you're set. But yeah, so
Who is
a lot. Go ahead.
No, I'm just looking. You keep talking. I'm just looking something up. Not to share, just to look up.
I was going to say, a lot of times too, what can feel like 17 on one knife is different than the next knife because of thickness and geometry and everything else. But when you're holding at an angle, you feel like it's one thing, but that still can adjust. So, I mean, there's an art to it, and I'm never gonna disagree with that. But
Sid Faction is on tonight, isn't it?
As far as I'm aware.
And so it was on Said Stevie last week. And I know we've got plenty of time.
Yeah, you get almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, originally they were going to go later because of Stevie had dental surgery today.
That's right. He had to go this morning and get that done.
I talked to him late this morning, early afternoon, and he was already back. So as long as he's feeling better, I think they're game on. So,
what's up, Scotch? What is up, 1931 Leatherworks? Scotch, what was that knife you were holding today on Instagram? The one to the left of the big Praetorian looking knife.
You talking about the Talon?
Is that what it was?
The Hawk?
Yeah, the Hawk. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's the Talon.
Thug life indeed.
Oh, that's
Dude,
right.
that's a gorgeous knife.
You're an hour ahead. I forgot. You and Toddy.
Mimo's 2 hours ahead. He must be
two of
in
you,
Canada.
one of me. Yeah.
9:15 on the Mattis Faction channel, which is 11:15 for me. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. We are good.
12:15 God's time.
Yeah, God's time. Aren't you in Ohio?
Yeah, it's east.
You're East Coast?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were central.
No.
You're further east than I have to look at. See, that wasn't good in geography. I thought Ohio was kind of central or west of us, but I guess it's Chicago that's straight up. So you're must be east of Chicago.
Yes. Yeah, I'm about 5 hours southeast of Chicago.
Said Stevie, I put my video out, dude. My Smoky Mountain Knife Works is no longer a friend of mine. And I'm going to show you on the doll where they touched me and made me feel uncomfortable. They got into my feelings.
Yeah, that happens. I don't think.
Well, they've got, I was Illuminati. What's up, buddy? I wasn't that tied into it when they pulled all the shift stuff or the axial knives off. And I forget who went in to ask to look at them, but it was kind of one of those videos that just kind of came out. And I don't know, there could have been a valid reason for that, but they just never addressed it. And I think anytime you've got a lot of people asking questions, it behooves you to try to answer them, not
Ron
just to
Crow.
read a post.
Ron, I'm in central west.
So I thought you were in Tri-State's basement. I thought you
No.
were his roommate.
No. He's about an hour and a half south of me.
Gotcha. And that's the Cincinnati. I don't know what Tri-State is. Cincinnati area?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I remember WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that was in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Now let's do a quick action break. Wake everybody up. Give me just a second.
Take her up. Holy sardine!
That's too much for me to take.
What was that dude's name from Hustler?
Flint.
I can't remember. Yeah. He's from Cincinnati too, I believe.
Oh, is he? He passed away a while back, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, that was an interesting character, wasn't he? I mean, he built an empire, I guess.
Yeah.
And then in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio?
Yeah, that's up north. That's
Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland area. Yeah, Cleveland's about 4 hours from me, roughly.
Yeah, I'm guessing Ohio's probably about the same geographical size as Alabama. Like it takes me 6 hours to drive from the north to the south.
You're a little bit longer, but we're definitely wider as far as east to west. So it's about 4 to 5 from from corner to corner, north to south, but it's almost 3.5 to 4 across as well too.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, it's decent size.
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of stuff around there. I would think Ohio's got pretty much everything you need.
Yeah.
In terms of cities and the amenities that you'd like to have.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's outside of mountains, there's pretty much anything you want here.
And it's pretty country, right? I mean, don't you live
yes and no. Like there's areas, but I mean, there's also, metropolitan areas that are huge where you're not going to see a lot of that. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of rural area. I'm a suburb of a decent sized city, but I'm like 30 minutes north of that. But then my area, I'm like by car, I'm 2.5, 3 minutes from cornfields, but I'm also within 8 minutes, 9 minutes of any fast food or restaurant you want and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, you're
not hurting for it if you need it.
No, and there's every shopping possibility that I want is within 20, 30 minutes of me.
Memo's only 20 hours northeast of Chicago.
Nice.
I'm about 12 hours south of Chicago. So I would be driving to see you, my friend. That was Adam West, the one and only Batman.
Bloomy. Hey, speaking of that, what did you end up seeing at the Buddy Holly Center?
Was he goodness gracious great balls of fire, dude?
No, that was Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay. I was thinking, I wasn't going to make the PDF joke because.
Yeah, you remember him doing the telethons, right?
Yes. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, and what he called the kids.
Dude, I've got one of those on my 80s inappropriate commercials, and I can't make myself play it because it's just it even makes me cringe.
Yeah. He was quite the interesting human. Leave it at that.
Yeah, I was wondering if my bird's eye. Did you see my bird's eye ad?
No.
I didn't even know these were a thing. Check these out.
Hello, faggot lovers everywhere. I've a message for you from Birdseye. Birdseye faggots will appeal to your whole family. They've made them with lashings of gravy, but they've gone easy on the spice because kids don't like them too spicy, apparently. Birdseye even suggests that people who don't like faggots could enjoy these. They live in hope. You know, that could be right.
Jesus, Javon.
I'm telling you, man, I've got these. They're just product after product after product that make you go, this is so wrong. But funny thing about Birdseye is I know the Birdseye family. And they freeze all kinds of shit. But that looked like a little meat product, didn't it?
I don't even want to begin to know. Get into that. Kathleen said she got an ad. I don't know if she was talking about that one you just showed or if an actual ad.
You shouldn't have gotten an actual ad. Now, that was my ad. But I'll show you guys that I have turned those bad boys off. Now, does that mean that YouTube cares? I've got them off. And they're giving me a whole lot of, they don't care. Mike Judge presents Brand New American, gifted 1 membership. Dude, thank you so much.
What's up, BNA?
BNA, you come to the live stream tomorrow, and whoever got that membership, I will announce it here in 2 seconds after I give you a man hug. Thank you, brother. Let's see who got that. Who was gifted a membership? Who was gifted a membership from Brand New American? Illuminati Ninja was gifted a membership from Brand New American. Sweet. Illuminati, come to the live tomorrow at 11 o'clock. You do not have to be here for long. It is a short live stream to thank channel members. Exactly. The spear-shaped blade. Yeah, it's hard grabbing them if they don't have a flat.
Well,
do you have any?
There are a few ways around that. I've got. So, I mean, this is more.
One back. Sorry, Kyle.
Sorry,
I had to give
that's more
love.
It's more of a drop that I can show. Let me see what else I've got here handy.
Level on up got the membership.
That's still more. I don't know if I've got a true spear.
You had to hand sharpen that one of my buddies, didn't you? The little dagger?
No.
Oh, you were able to get in on your clamps?
Yeah.
Level on up 11 o'clock tomorrow. All you got to do is jump in, leave something in the chat, and then you can jump out. You don't have to be present to win.
All right.
Just
This
saying.
one is closer. That's closer to a spear.
Yeah, because that's
And-
got like an angle at the top.
Yeah, man, it's got a secondary swedge. The key is how you adjust. Let me move this in for you.
I'm gonna make you big if you don't mind.
I don't care. All right, so the key is getting your first clamp set up and then adjusting your second one individually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one first on a flat to where it's good. And I'm going to get that as close to the center as I possibly can. About like that.
And you're barely clamping that, aren't you?
Just for now. And then I'm going to move this one in until I can get to a flat. Now, if it's not directly on a flat, what I'll do is I'll slightly tilt the angle of the tip in towards so I can get on that flat. Then I'll clamp that and then lock this down. And see how that's starting to move out?
Yeah.
That means it's not deep enough. So I need to take it in there a little deeper on that one. There we go. And then I can adjust that back out. And it's not quite there. So I need to tighten this one down a little bit.
But you feel confident that you're keeping your
and that's
your
what that's
angles-
doing. It's kicking them out. So I need to adjust that in even more. Pull this one out. Yeah, that's still wanting to grab. So what I'm going to do now is get that in there tight like that on that flat part. Same thing. Tighten that down.
You just got to really work with it, don't you?
Yeah, just got to move it and see how it's still wanting to pop. So I would just keep messing around, going back and forth until I can get on a flat on both of the clamps. And if you can't, then what you might even have to do is end up going to a single, getting more in the center,
Clamping it deeper.
There, and that would work.
And then you just not put a lot of pressure, which you don't want to put pressure on your stones really anyway.
Yeah, that one is like I like to have a little bit more than that, but you could still get away with that.
So do you feel like with that being at the kind of apex of that, not the blade, but the apex of the spine or whatever you call that, the flat, when you flip it, you think they're going to be the same angle? They should, right?
The closer you can get the point of the knife, the tip of the knife to the center line of your system, the more accurate it's going to be going side to side.
So you want the center. Is that in all cases or just when you've got difficult clamping cases?
All cases. So if I'm
So
going
the point
there,
is what you want centered up.
right, but it doesn't have to be exact because sometimes you're going to have different blade shapes. You're going to have different issues getting it in there. So like that would be the furthest I could go. So I'm going to tighten that down. And that's reasonably solid there. The only issue I'm going to have now is if I try to go to a low angle,
You're going to hit that
that
clamp.
corner is going to be in the way. So the only other option I have would be to tilt that out slightly, but then I'm going to lose a little bit of tension on that clamp. So it just, you kind of fidget and play with until you get to where you want to be at.
I got you.
So
Is that a Laconico in there?
yeah, that's the Rosalinda.
Nice.
So the process is just back and forth, but trying to you always set your clamp at the heel first, and then you work towards the front clamp.
Makes sense. And then just try to keep it as parallel as possible.
Yeah, for the most part. If you have to make slight adjustments, you can, but just you don't want it to be completely cockeyed unless you're doing something like a a really drastic change in a tanto, which we talked about before. But if it's similar, then I'm not going to adjust that for the tanto.
Right. Makes sense.
So
yeah, I'm guessing those tippers have to be sharpened like a tanto, don't they?
yeah, I mean the tipper, it is a tanto if I'm not mistaken. The other thing too on drop points, clip points, any of those. So like we'll do something like that. Where you have a severe turn to it. The key we've talked about before is not to try to keep the stone straight like this as far as height wise.
Let it roll.
Yeah, I mean if it starts to turn like this and actually stone rolls like that, that's what you're going to do. But you're not going to force it in there. You're not going to roll it off the end. But it should have a natural motion to it. So let me grab a stone. But so like if I'm here, and if you watch let me get this dead straight for you. So if you watch the position of how much stone is on each side of that metal bar there.
Right.
If I'm going forward and now we'll start to turn, you'll start to see a little bit less of that front half over here.
Right, because it's rolling down towards that tip just slightly.
Correct. And that's just following the path of the knife. That's not me trying to force anything. That's just what that blade shape is going to do. So.
And do you go, I've asked you this before, but do you just go that one way or do you go both ways with your strokes?
Yeah, I go both. So, I mean, I'm here, I'm there, and then back, there, back.
I'm still trying to figure out where I'm getting my little scratches from.
What's up, Drizzy? That without seeing it and not seeing you actually do it, Javon, I don't know. I'm going to need to watch you at some point because it doesn't.
And it could be that I keep working on the same knife that's got them on there.
Well, yeah, that would you definitely would still see them then.
Yes, definitely. I've got to find something else to sharpen on.
Another option too is before, like if you said you tried taping them, but even if you don't tape one, even if it's a stainless or a satin blade, just cover it with Sharpie and let it dry. And then when you go to sharpen it, see if anything's going up into that Sharpie. And if it is, then you know something's going wrong with, like that stone is coming off of the blade and it's going above that bevel.
Oh, so you're like put Sharpie above the bevel to see if anything's coming into it.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That's
the only little micro scratches. Like, let me see if you can see this. See those little micro scratches there? And some of that could be from cutting, but
I was going to say that very well could be if you're using cardboard on that. Cardboard will definitely abrade.
Yeah, I've cut a ton of cardboard with this.
That very well could be it.
I have not talked to PM Scotch. I haven't talked to Pocket Metal. I see Donnie all the time, but I haven't seen Pocket Metal since a couple weeks, I guess. I assume he's been chilling. Oh, absolutely. I love Pocket Metal. I love Donnie. I love you, dude. It's just been by scheduling, I think.
We're not good enough for you, Scotch?
I think that's what Scotch is saying. Yeah, Donnie was just live in the shop. And he was in here Tuesday for a little while before he went to bed. He's on the Blade Show Crunch It Time.
It's amazing how fast.
No, Pocket Metal hadn't been on Friday Night Flicks in a while. Because that's usually the night that he and Timmyette go shopping and do all their weekly chore stuff.
Drew, I saved that for you, buddy.
Yeah, you've got your desk fixed up where you're not showing the leg shots anymore.
Yeah, I don't have to now. I've gained my entry. I don't need to do that anymore. I paid my dues.
You did pay your dues. Have you talked to Shane? Shane, I tried to call him earlier.
I talked to him a little bit ago when I was on. He was live for a little bit. And I was chatting with him in there. And I talked to him yesterday.
I'm not getting his notifications, or I'm not paying attention.
He wasn't on for maybe an hour and a half. It wasn't like crazy long, I don't think. But he was in the shop just grinding. Let me see. I can tell you.
Hello, TS Prof. Sorry, I missed you.
He was on for an hour and 45 earlier.
Oh, so he was grinding. He's doing good. That's probably why he didn't get my call, because he was probably working the shop.
Very well could be.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good, Pretty Fly. Those are the ones that'll make you check up.
Know that feeling, buddy.
Scotch, I haven't. Let me send you a link, dude.
Ellis, are you still whining? You know, he said you were his secretary and you're supposed to call.
Who's that?
Ellis was supposed to be Shane's secretary and making phone calls to Chap.
And he's not doing it.
Probably. That's probably why he's not calling you back.
Very possible. I forgot what I was gonna. Oh, I was gonna tell him about my Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I'll probably get sued for that.
For what?
I don't know, just for talking about them. I shouldn't have said the word clone. I should have just called it a copy.
It's your opinion. You weren't.
Yeah, it's my opinion, so it is what it is. I just wish Cowboy would come out and say, "Oh man," they don't care though, because I'm sure they had a meeting about it before they deleted the post. I know how social media teams work.
Yeah, that's just
That was their damage control.
cover up and damage control. Yep.
Exactly. Minimize the impact. I'm thinking the Monica Lewinsky type of secretary. If Shane's gets to vote,
I'm not sure Shane could handle Ellis.
yeah, you never know. That's true. He talks a big talk, doesn't he?
I think Ellis in a blue dress might just push him over the top.
Speaking of blue dresses, and she rarely wears them, but Megyn Kelly has gotten attractive. The Fox chick, I know she's had tons of work done. I know that's very tangential and random. I think that made it worse too.
Yeah. The
True, Richard. And again, I even said I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I'm just telling you why my mind changed.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, like I told you before, if that upsets people, so be it. I mean, it's your opinion. You're allowed to feel that way and stand on it. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I need to do that more often because I've got more opinions, but I just don't like to stir shit. And it's funny because the ones that stir shit, if anybody makes them, they get the views.
Yeah, I mean, because they're going for that, and
I'm not into that. I'd rather say nothing at all and let my silence speak volumes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work.
I don't like doing that, but I do occasionally if I need to, tactfully, but I'm definitely not the type to parse words.
Nor should you. I mean, there needs to be voices, strong voices in the community, and people don't have to agree with them, but that's why you want strong voices on all sides, because it makes the discourse better.
But here's a big difference, Javon. There's a lot of times if someone if I'm strongly opinionated on something, I'm willing to have a conversation with somebody about it. And if they want to bring information to me that proves something in their favor, I'm all ears. Like, I'm not saying like if my opinion just comes strongly opinionated on it means I'm 100% accurate. I don't talk about a lot of things I don't know about. So, I mean, I'm fairly certain of what I'm talking about, but if something is brought to my attention, then I'm more willing to hear somebody out. And my mind can be changed. I mean, it's not like I don't look down on others because it's not my opinion. And that's something that a lot of people don't do now is they aren't willing to listen. They just want to talk.
And you've got to listen on both sides for any progress. And you're not going to change opinions 99% of the time, but to respect why someone feels the way they feel, listening helps.
Absolutely. I mean, and we're not talking about anything controversial. We're talking about just life in general. If more people listened and more people tried to see things from a central standpoint, then I think a lot would be better.
I agree.
So
I agree. Well, if Donnie's live in 5, he ain't gonna be live over here. But yeah, I don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way. It's just I just know it's a junky knife. I know it costs probably $7 or $8. I know they're trying to whore them out, especially if they've got 200 and something. And I know more are coming behind it. I forget who that credible source was that says I was at Blade Show and saw them pitching this knife and others. And it's just unfortunate for them to get in bed with that. I would think they've got enough knives to sell where they don't have to go after questionable ones.
Well, I mean, honestly, that knife probably is $3 to $4 range, and
You're probably right.
They're looking at just mass margins, and they can sell to somebody off the street who's just looking for something that they can make a huge margin on, but yet not break the bank for somebody. So
that's wisdom, Ron Crow, right there. I agree with you 100%. Crispy Critter, you can stay quiet and make them wonder, or you can open your mouth and show that you're the stupidest person in the room. I agree with that. Also, good to see you, Crispy.
Well, and that's something I don't understand is how anyone can push for throttling someone's speech. Because if it's that vile or that awful, then it just shows what you're dealing with. And at that point, you can just tune it out.
Exactly.
But
and not
having someone being the arbiter of truth is not only unjust, but it doesn't do anything for anyone. So I don't know, but I just think that talking is more needed than ever, and listening.
Kathleen, drop a link to Blade Walker and we'll try to help him out too. Not that we have any kind of metal complex pull, but we got 30 people in here who might not know of him. I don't know of him, I don't think. But that is awesome. Let me go over here and open that. See if I'm subscribed. And
Illuminati.
We did this. Yeah, we pushed him the other night. Let me put it back up here.
Illuminati, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Who's that? Let me copy that. Hey guys, go sub to Blade Walker. See if we can get him a couple more. We're not MC, but we'll try.
There you go.
Oh, dude, the shaman, you know, that was one of my absolute favorite knives. And then I made the mistake of reviewing my buddy's Bodacious, and I really like the Bodacious too. I don't know if you tried that one, Sierra Rick. I can't even read, but that's an interesting knife. That would be sweet. Would you go to Brian for something like that? Does Brian do hollows on shamans?
I don't know that he's doing regrinds. He's doing some. I'm not sure that all of them, but
Trying to think who does regrinds, because I don't think Sawtooth's doing them anymore.
BGM still is doing them. I would check with Brian first, but if he's not doing them, which I'm not 100% sure either way on that, then I would look at probably BGM.
Yeah, I've had him do some for me before. Yeah, they're great knives. And I can't wait to do Shane's scale swap. I almost put my purple these scales on it,
Okay.
but those would be too slick for Shane.
Yeah.
But those weathered AWTs skinnies look pretty cool. Brian's regrind books are currently open, said Stevie says. He just sent him something.
Perfect. I wasn't sure. I knew he'd done a few recently, but I wasn't sure if he was taking on all regrinds or not. So I just didn't want to speak on his behalf, but
That's who I'd reach out to.
Yep. Absolutely.
And my shaman's slicey as it is, but I can only imagine with that thick grind or that thick spine, you could get a sick hollow out of it.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one that's really impressive when you start to hollow grind it is the Harsey, because it's so thick behind the edge factory. But when you regrind that, it makes it amazing.
Who regrounds yours?
I don't have one.
Oh,
but I've done sharpening on some that have been reground. I know Satu did one. I know BGM did one, and they turned out great.
I wish when I sent some to Satu when he was practicing, I wish I'd sent my little Warncliffe half track, and I wish I'd sent my Harsey. Yeah, I don't know all the differences in that, but I do know that you are limited by your wheel.
Well, yeah. So the taller your hollow, the bigger the wheel you need. So if your blade is tall from top to bottom, then you need a bigger wheel,
so that your convex is not going to be too deep or too shallow or too
concave.
short.
Yeah.
Concave. Yeah. What am I saying?
Because otherwise it's just going to ride at the blade just a little bit. So like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. So basically you need a bigger wheel to be able to do taller. So like on a Harsey, you're not doing, it's not nearly as tall as like a Sage. So you wouldn't have to go nearly as big of a wheel.
Very
that makes
cool.
sense at all. Well, look at Mr. Overachiever Stevie. Thank you.
Look at Stevie's on top of the. I do too. My shaman has got some. I want to say these are not Rips Garage Tech sharp dress knives scales, and it's got a lyncher clip on it, and I love it. It's CTS XHP, I think is what they call that steel. It was a cutlery shop exclusive.
Yeah, they do XHP. That I still don't understand the hype, because XHP is
tool steel, right?
Well, it's a barely souped up D2.
Well, Jared said it's good.
Well, that's fine.
So it's
Stevie,
good.
I 100% agree. I mean, I've been doing the same, and there's a lot of respect there.
I've got mad respect, and I don't know him personally, but I've got mad respect for him. What he does and what blows me away by him is his ability to put together a rant with such good points and such a concise thought pattern. Palmer Conley, what's up, young feller? Stevie, I hope you're recovering nicely today, buddy. Sound like you had a date this morning with the drill.
What's up, Palmy?
Palmer's in Canada too, isn't he? Or is he not? No, he's not in Canada.
No, he's living on the yacht life somewhere.
Even better. So he's on vacation.
He's always on vacation.
I miss being young. It was all about vacation.
His life is a perpetual vacation.
Can be. It should be. And it's up to each of us to make it so. However, my vacations have been pretty shitty lately, but what are you going to do? Ooh, in New York City. Absolutely.
Who's Linda?
Linda. I think that's kind of what he digs about him. I think Linda's kind of
busting Stevie's balls.
There you go. See there? Kinda.
Palmer, did you go see Ammo while you're out there?
See what?
I've been talking to him about there's a guy that he needs to go visit next time he's going to New York City. Speaking of New York City, I had a very interesting USPS debacle. I sent a knife to a guy in New York City, and well, yeah, I mean, whatever. But all of a sudden, I looked at the shipping and I'm like, what the hell is going on with that? And it left from here, went to, let me pull it up. Went from me to Cincinnati to Tucson to Phoenix, and then now it's headed back to New York City.
That's just a weird route, it sounds like. That doesn't sound like they've got any problem with it, does it?
No, it's just them being stupid.
Yeah, I don't see how you can be so inefficient when you've got computers.
Well, it's government work. I mean, that's number one.
Well, I have to give my mail people a little bit of credit, only because I've known them so long. They seem to get it right most of the time. I'll probably jinx myself. I only had 2 things not show up, and one of them was because I got scammed, and the other were a set of scales.
My local office is cool, but I just don't have a lot of faith in them in general. I mean, talk about inefficiency. They lose billions of dollars a year.
True. I mean, that takes work.
Yeah. Very much so.
Trying to get
what have you been up to today? Anything besides chilling?
I made about 3 videos. My buddy A to Z, have you ever heard of the Wii Sine Wave?
No.
It's a weird knife, dude. But I reviewed it. I did a couple of bearing replacements that I've got to stage up. I've got to get my video for tomorrow queued up and ready to go. But it rained here most of the day, so Tippy and I kind of chilled. I was going to get out. I've got to go tomorrow or Monday. I've got to get over to Knives and More and do that video because I want to share that guy's. I want to share Zach's name with that guy because I think they could trade a lot of knives or buy a lot of knives.
Yeah, it started raining this afternoon. We've been the last week or so. It's just been either hot or rain, back and forth, back and forth. And
It gets so old, dude. I mean, because like here, you'll get sun for about 10 minutes and then you get rain.
We had the other day I was driving and something that I haven't seen in, I don't know, a few years, but it was sunny as could be and it was just pouring down rain. You don't see
And
that
it
too
happens.
often. Yeah, I mean, but you don't see it too often, at least around here.
No, when you got the rainbow and it's just bright sun and it's just raining like hell.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It looked like there was a cloud in the sky and it just was pouring.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I saw, Ryan, was about 5 years, no, closer to 10 years ago. We had a blizzard here in Alabama and they had thunder snow for about 2 hours where it was like a thunderstorm, snowstorm. We got like 14 inches. Closed the city for like a week.
What you don't get down there, which we get up here, which is kind of crazy, is they call it, I can't remember the actual term for it, but when the ground freezes over and it's so cold for a long period of time, then it'll actually like make cracking noises and it sounds like thunder or like an earthquake. It's like a big boom, and it's just the ground
like shifting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, Huntsville's the town of the crack foundations because we've got so many missile and armory things down, I guess you'd call it west of us, where they're just cluster bombing the fuck out of these fields. And you can feel it all the way over where I live.
Night, Sarah.
Hi, girl.
Girl?
Who'd you say?
Sierra Rick.
Oh, Sierra Rick. I'm not on the screen. My bad. Sierra Rick. Hi, girl. Hi, sweetie. Snookums. Always good seeing you, buddy. Hopefully you'll be over at said faction. I still don't see Maddie's thumbnail.
Nice poem.
That slacker. Maybe he's waiting for Stevie to put it up.
Who knows? Oh, yeah. I guess Donnie went live with Scotch.
Awesome. Let's screen snipe them.
I went to look for Maddie's thing and they just popped up.
I guess they feel left out.
I'm not sure.
I can just say, fuck you. I wouldn't do that. Let's go to YouTube. And let's see what we're missing. I know Metal Complex is live with about 1,000 people.
800 bots. What's up, Andrew?
So what else is new? How's it going to be? How many dives do you want to take to Blade Show?
4 to 6 is my usual plan.
That seems light to me. I would.
Yeah, I'm done. Andrew, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Are you still with us, Kyle, or did you fall asleep?
I'm here, buddy. I just was.
I got to throw up an action here. I'm going to throw up an action. Do this one.
One night, Billy was watching his favorite TV hero. And right in the middle of a fight, G-Man Jim ran out of ammunition. Psst, Jim, Billy's got the answer. It's the new Mattel Firebolt gun. It never runs out of ammunition. Show him how it works, Billy. Just drop in a perforated...
Billy almost shot Jim in the head.
Definitely flagged them.
Absolutely. Andrew, thank you, brother. You did not have to do that, but I appreciate you more than you know, and I'm going to give you a man hug. Kyle, he's giving you love too.
Heck yeah, Andrew. Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate you, brother. Let's see what's going on over on
I'll make Javon send me $3.
I'm gonna send you $5, dude. I'm gonna let YouTube keep it. Let me pull up Metal Complex. See what we're giving away over there. I like stream sniping.
And then you got Bees going probably still too.
Oh, Beast goes for hours.
Does he? I've been over there in long.
Me neither, but his lives are 5 hours. I mean, he spends a lot of
Holy
time.
crap.
So does, I'll tell you who else does is Rob's Nerdy Knives.
Yeah. Occasionally I'll catch his super late.
What I can't take about Metal Complex
the next
is
quote,
the music.
next best thing, even multiple thousands of dollars. That's the sword lore.
All right. Done with that one. Who else we got live?
Richard is a Richard. Andrew, did you get your package yet? I knew it was going to be arriving this week. He just got a new KO3.
That's funny.
What?
I just petted Scotch.
Why?
I sent him a link earlier when he was whining about why I don't send out links anymore. And he saw it. And I just took it away. I unsent it.
No.
But I do
That's
feel like
all
I'm
right.
missing out on content here.
Drizzy, do you have a point there?
I don't know what dude. And then there's the drama. Everybody, did you see what everybody's upset about? So a guy who EMT.
I'm about to comment on this one.
He has a knife out that he collabed with China. It's
Scotch,
been
of
copied
all people, is
before,
going to
and
take.
now Smoky Mountain Knife Works has copied it.
No, I did see that. I didn't know it was
Under the
coming.
Rough Rider brand,
I
and
saw it.
everybody seems to be up in arms.
Yeah,
And
because it's
what
a
I
U.S.
listened
company, you
to,
cocksucker.
And I don't. Clones are bad. I don't care what people do with your money, but come on. But I just listened to
I
the
can't
Giant
comment.
the
Can
McNeese
anybody comment over
podcast
there? For some
today.
reason, it's not letting me.
The one where you saw
Yeah, with Chase Boatwright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
good. I mean, he makes
not
points, and I talked about this
clones,
on I think Monday
dude.
because it was weird. Like, it was weird. I can't
It
remember how
is a U.S.
what happened. It was Easter
company.
Sunday, and everybody on
That's where
I
everybody
thought
went.
going insane because
you,
Chavez knives
all
have been
people.
cloned now. You know, there's
You, Mills, Ellis are all over there.
and there's been cloned, but now you can get
There.
and it says Chavez,
shit,
and then I
Shenanigans.
watched a YouTube video on. It was weird. It was like shit just fucking popped up, like on the way to see family for Easter. A video popped up, like your phone's listening to you talk about clones. So it's a dude on.
Buddy.
You're live where you guys were talking about clones and stuff.
Yeah, I was talking about that, dude.
Yeah, and I think we might be talking about the same YouTuber. But
Yeah,
the dude,
totally.
all he does is buy clones, which is
All right,
Where's everybody tonight?
they're over at Metal Complexes or at Donnie's.
Yeah, but no, I mean, let's see. We got 31. Donnie's got 13. Metal Complex goes every Friday, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, he doesn't go every Friday.
Oh,
He goes like, let's see what Bees has. Dude, we're having a low key, easy breezy.
no, I'm cool with it. Just been kind of slow in the chat.
Yes, it's very slow. Probably me. Because I was negative to Bees is live. And Bees is
What's
pulling.
up, Chris?
Let's see. Man, I'm getting ad loaded. There are a lot of lives on Friday night.
Yeah. Javon, you've met Chris, haven't you? Black Star Designs?
I don't think maybe would I've met Chris at the Rocket City Knife Show, or is that impossible?
I think that's possible.
Hold on a second. Cards. I think I did. Was he with Dopey?
Yeah, they're buddies.
I believe that is his card right there.
Yes, sir.
I did meet him. I loved his knives. Yes, sir. We did meet, my friend. Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Mad Yako? Good to see you, brother.
What's up, Yoko Ono?
Oh, God. I think Smoky Mountain Knife Works owns or partially owns Rough Rider. I don't know how the politics of that goes, because I know that there's a connection between Rosecraft Blades, the guy that started it, and Rough Rider, but don't know what that is necessarily. Not 100% sure.
I don't know either way, so I'm not gonna. No way, Ryan. No way. Loud?
Let's go back and see what's happened to Good Life.
That's a good point, Kathleen.
We'll go back and forth. I can't go to MC because he's just going to do the giveaways. And if I was y'all, I would go over there and register for the giveaway.
No, you're a fucking douchebag.
And that's like, I get it. So he wants to hang out and have beers, and it's like, dude, we'll get to Omaha. Yeah, eventually. Anyway, so he works for the power company, and he hit me. He found an engineer.
I don't know what that's about. But anyways.
Yes.
We'll try to keep it down. I'll try not to get too animated over here.
No, we're good. We're just a chill stream, which is nice. Good change of pace. Nothing off
See, and I think hopefully they'll, let's see if they've commented on my video. I doubt they have. They won't comment. Commented. Oh, I should have tagged them.
Pretty Fly, that's probably for a good reason.
Huh?
I was telling Pretty Fly that's probably for a good, valid reason.
Oh, dude, that sucks. Said Stevie, that means everything to me, brother. I appreciate you, dude. So the feeling is mutual.
Chris, 100%. Unfortunately, giveaways bring out the worst in people. It's nice to get back to when you want to, but to do it all the time just to keep people there just brings out the worst people you don't want around.
I think you got to do them on the down low.
I just think you do them when you want to do them, or you do them behind the scenes.
Yes, yes.
As far as you give them to people you want to give them to, because
they need a knife and you're sitting around a pavilion looking at knives.
Yeah, I just.
It seems to work out over here. I mean, I know some people don't like it, but it seems like everybody gets their fair shake. I think most people have won something.
Yeah, but it's the difference is you've gone from feeling like you have to doing it when you want to, and that makes a big difference, in my opinion. At least.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it does, and I think there are people. I know there are people here just for giveaways, and I don't miss them. I mean, I wish they were here, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because we're here to hang out.
If people only are going to be there for you for your giveaways, then they're not there for you. So it's not a big deal. Who cares? I mean, I don't have a channel, so that's my opinion. But like, they're notoriously, there's a few people that I know that people say hello to all the time, but as soon as there's a giveaway, they pop in and then they leave and they never interact. And it's just like, I don't have any, and they're the same people that tag everyone 1,000 times and post for giveaway shit. And it's like, I've never entered one of those because I'm not that I'm too good for it. Just, I don't use that for that's not my avenue. I'd rather just hang out. So.
Yeah, and it's like watching when Lefty used to do them with the numbers game or JB's, they don't seem as sketchy, maybe. I've started doing them just in the Saturday morning ones, and there are only about 17 people in there, so the odds are great.
Yeah. That is true.
Drizzy.
I don't know.
No, Black Star Designs definitely has some sweet stuff. And I know when I saw him at Rocket City, Dopey had done some anos on several of his folders.
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
And Stevie has the damn stick against the turd burglars. He will slap them down.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, that's the fun part is the giving, not the getting. And that's why if it's not constantly or you're not using it as a bargaining chip for views, then it means more.
No, and I think anytime you put giveaway in the title of your stream, you're going to draw a bunch of people who have filter set, like Google Alerts, that let them know when that's posted on YouTube. And they can go to just those streams, whether you're giving away a tire iron or you're giving away a knife. They're after the giveaways.
Frankly, I'd rather win a tire iron than most of these giveaways.
No doubt. Crispy, no, you didn't miss it, brother. You never miss the giveaways.
Crispy's sitting there lurking.
I know what Crispy's doing. Crispy's celebrating. He's celebrating his porch. What are you doing, Tippy? My cat's over here fucking with me. Getting out of hand.
Crispy's celebrating, looking down from his giraffe stool.
Giraffe stool. Ozark Grails. I've got it. That's one of the reasons I've really got to get to Blade Show, or I really want to get to Blade Show. I would love to have more of the budget companies send me knives where I could get more knives to review and to give away. Because really right now, I'm just recycling old content. And if it wasn't for my buddy A to Z EDC, I would be hurting. Luckily, he's a knife addict.
See, that's
he's got
why
some nice ones too that I don't even want to review.
I take a different approach to that, and I slightly disagree because the majority of these people that come into these streams don't need anything. They don't need knives. They don't need anything. And the thrill of chasing down a budget knife in a giveaway when, while be it's still generous to give it away, doesn't mean nearly as much. If you did a giveaway less often and a nicer knife, then I think that would be more meaningful to most people. And I don't want to sound negative to it because I mean, but any one of us can go buy an Ozark Grail. So what's the point of giving that away, or an Ozark Trails? Sorry, excuse me. what's the point of giving that away to someone? Like, I just don't see that as a
valid thank you.
Yeah, not even a thank you, but it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather don't spend the money on shipping. Just like and I'm not trying to sound bougie by any means, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So why not just, instead of buying those and feeling obligated to give them away constantly, do giveaways less and give away something a little bit nicer, or don't give away anything at all and just have people there because they want to be there.
True. And I should do more milestone giveaways. That's what I should save up for. But I've just gotten in the habit of doing it. And it's a me problem. But again, I'm just clearing out stuff that I never carry, even if it's nicer stuff. Like Kathleen won a nice one last week, but it was one I didn't carry.
What's up, 5-door? Ellis.
5-door.
That's correct.
Level on up. That's a lesson that it took me a year and a half to learn, and it was the greatest lesson I learned in the knife community. And it was shared with me by Dark Gravity about my buying habits of budget knives, and if I would just forgo them and save up, I could really add to my collection. And over time I did. It made a difference. And I would recommend other people do it, but I don't think I would have stuck with. I mean, I think my journey had to go my way. Oh, Black Star, dude, that's awesome, man. I'll get in touch with you if we do something for 25, if we make it there, if I survive it.
And I hope no one took that the wrong way as far as saying that, but
no, I think a lot of people agree with you. I think it's, you know, and I don't want to get into the finger pointing, but there are a lot of people in the community that are reviewers that are overrun with knives because they have so many that are just taking up space while they review them, and they don't do anything with them really afterwards. So I could see how you want to put those, like Metal Complex. I give him credit for that. You know, I'm sure he keeps a lot, but he does give away a lot of knives, and I know he gets a shit ton. But I know other reviewers that get a shit ton that don't give away hardly shit. And that's okay. That's their prerogative. It's not like you have to give them away. But for me, I feel like a company sending it to me to try it out, and it's not going to do the company any good sitting in my knife case necessarily, unless I'm using it.
Right. And Dr. Drew, that is 100% not the case. I know you're joking, but like, yeah, I'll leave it there.
Exactly. I feel like that's bribing. If you start announcing that you're going to do a giveaway when you hit a certain number. And I can tell y'all that numbers do not mean shit. Every one of my numbers comes from shorts. They get no engagement. But I followed what YouTube said about shorts, and now I'm stuck with it.
You're not stuck with it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, John. You know that.
I know, but I've told you how my brain works in terms of getting set in little routines. And since I don't have a regular professional routine, those 9 shorts a day are one of the things I do. You know, I shouldn't feel like I have to. Follow Stevie to improve the organic struggle.
You were following him to begin with?
I used to like MC's lives. I mean, I used to watch so much different content than I watch now because I watch very little knife content. I've been watching Outdoor 55 some because I find him interesting, and I'm trying to learn stuff that I have no business learning.
I watch zero knife content, and I'm not hating on anyone. I find it all to be boring.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so much else out there to watch, right? I mean, there's so much content.
Oh, I can't keep up with stuff that I enjoy watching, so it's hard for me to try to force myself to watch stuff I don't want to watch.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the live streams.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy lives, but I've cut back on those as well too because there's only certain ones I enjoy being in. So, but it's not the same.
Richard, you are awesome too, brother. And we give them back. I agree. Stevie, when y'all said that, and I've always thought that as douchey as MC was, he did a lot of things, or he appears to do a lot of things right. A lot of things above board. But he does a lot of douchey things too.
That was one of the few reviews that I actually agree upon with him. I think a lot of his quote unquote hot takes are not all that great or all that accurate. To me, it's mid. It just.
Hey, Stephen Wallace.
Agreed. Stay in his lane.
Hey, did y'all see Duty's Blade Binge video?
No.
Dude.
I don't watch knife content.
I know you don't. That's why I'm going to share it with you, because Duty puts out some good content. And he's basically, well, you tell me if he's slamming on somebody. All these people have such good logos. All right. Let's go here. Do this. Share this. There. Where is it?
Was it another satire?
Well, no, it's not satire.
Little Bo Peep used
This
the
was
smart
just
buying
legit.
tools on Amazon Business.
Why he doesn't like Blade
She's
Binge.
not so little anymore.
Cannabis. It's not just legal in 38 states. It's a $36
Somebody's
billion
getting targeted.
global industry, and it's growing. Cannavision provides.
Little Bo Peep used the smart buying
Why'd I
tools
get
on
another
Amazon
ad?
Business. She's not so little anymore.
Cannabis. It's not just legal in 38 states. It's a $36 billion global industry, and it's growing.
I guess it's pretty easy to buy. Getting ripped
Never mind.
Yeah, no. Forget
Dude,
that.
he's got his ad load.
I might change my mind after I read all your comments about Blade Binge. Who knows? So that's what this is. I know I don't like it, so I don't use it. But I want to have a discussion about it with you guys. So I don't use Blade Binge. I prefer to use the Reddit knife swap. That's kind of my main way of buying and selling knives.
He goes into the reason he doesn't, and y'all can watch the video. I'll leave a link to it. But
We watched more ads than we did the video.
I know. Because I feel like y'all, I killed y'all with the ads. Let's go back and.
No, it's okay, John. That's fine. I just was giving you shit. But
What's happening, dudes? Welcome back to the channel.
What he gets into is that Blade Binge is profiting off a problem that he doesn't think is a problem. That was, said Stevie, that was not a weed commercial. That was a global cannabis commercial.
I'm not a fan of them either, but I have my own reasons. But if people like it, I mean, I've heard they've done some pretty cool things for certain people, but I also dislike a lot of things they do. So I don't participate, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And I think his point was that there's certain creators that advertise for him on the regular, and don't necessarily say that they're advertising for him. They're just showing.
Right. I mean, those are sponsored videos.
Yeah, but they don't have the sponsor tag.
Correct. They're getting paid for the shit, and they don't talk about it. Or they're getting sent on trips, and they're wearing their swag, and they're doing segments about it, but they don't talk about that part.
Yeah, it's I've made some good deals on Blade Binge, and I don't feel guilty, but 2 of the deals I made, the person pulled the listing and sold it to me outright.
99% of them are people just being extremely proud of what they have and not looking at market value.
Right.
They're
looking at what they paid for it.
There's 0.1% deals on there. Majority of them are just absolute. They're selling stuff that's used at list price or even
Rare
higher,
list price.
or even higher sometimes. I'm like, you have a run-of-the-mill general that's worth 40%, 50% of what list is, and you're trying to get full value. Get real. And then people, they see that and they're like, oh, well, that's worth that. Well, they're not selling it. Some of it's selling, some of it's not selling, but they assume that that's what the selling price is, and that's not. You go look at, like, I know eBay does it. You can go in there and look at what the actual sell prices are and see what things are going for. Or you go look at, like Duty said, Knife Swap or plenty of other places, and things are not selling. It's a buyer's market right now, and they're asking insane amount of money for stuff.
That's right. They're selling at COVID prices, 5-door, or trying to.
Yeah, but there's a difference between selling something that's hard to get at asking price or table versus selling a Civivi that's used at $5 off. It's like, give me a break. Why the hell would anyone take that on?
Very good point. Very good point.
The depreciation there is hang on. LCAP. I know that says it voids the warranty, but like, if you've seen some of Tim Reeves' lives when he's talked about it before, if you get a hold of them and talk to them, they take care of you.
Have a good night, Black Star.
That's more of a CYA thing that they put in there to avoid abuse. But they take care of people unless you're just absolutely destroying it constantly over and over. But I think that's more, like I said, more of a CYA thing. But if you have issues, feel free to reach out. And Tim's a good dude. He takes care of his customers. So I've not heard of him turning people away unless it's something that's egregious or something that is done third party or aftermarket that would affect the integrity of the knife. But in regards to flicking open, I've never heard of anyone getting turned down for that. I know he's directly spoken about that on several live streams that I've seen him on. So again, just running a business, I think that's part of the warranty process. You have to put in things to protect you. But
when it comes down to it, I think he makes it right.
Yeah. I mean, and I think he's doing that to protect the company, which makes sense. I mean, you can't just have someone abusing your knives and saying, oh, well, we'll warranty anything, anytime, any reason. I mean, to a point, yes, but not when it's just egregious. Like I said, I mean, if you had an issue, I think reaching out and just being like, hey, I've got an issue here, then let's see if we can get this resolved. And I've never heard him turn someone away. So if you have any problems with that, let me know, and I'll see if I can reach out to any of my contacts. But I've not heard of any problems. So
yeah, I know if you ever go to Blade Show and you start flipping open some of those knives, people at tables will give you go to hell looks. And most of them have signs, do not flip these knives. And I guess it's the detent balls, Kyle. They're not made to be.
There's several reasons why they could do that. But to me, like, if you've got a detent ball properly set, it's not just going to come flying out from that. Again, I'm not a maker, so I'm not going to sit there and say that it couldn't happen or whatever, but I just don't see that being a huge issue from that.
Right.
The only thing that I can see would be potential early wear as far as on the lock face and getting later lockup, but that takes a ton, and that's not going to happen just at one blade show. So I think a lot of that comes down to some of those makers are more we always talk about kind of the FUD mentality of the old school of don't touch, you can just look at stuff. I mean, at some point when you're doing production knives like that, you kind of got to get over that. If you're going there wanting to flick a $6,000 custom, then yeah, I can see
be able to buy it.
I can see him being a little more cautious with somebody, but production knives, I don't see any issue with that at all. So,
True Dude says that maybe wrist flicking. McNee's talking about how he hates that and it could ruin a frame lock. Or probably make it.
I think that's partially going into how hard you're getting into the lockup, which means you're putting excess wear on that lock face and pushing
on that titanium.
Yeah. Or just even the geometry of slamming it over so hard. Ellis, absolutely not. But he'd be the first one to be like, hey, good job, cool. But I'm not touching it.
I had a lock bar insert fall out of my Null Knives Voodoo, and they sent me another insert, and I was able to install it. I was kind of surprised I was able to do it. And it works fine.
It's just a screw and that's just what the screw you see on the back of the lock face.
Yeah, but for me, I'd never done one before, so I didn't know. It was a black where my frame was titanium. He said it should fit, but it's all I've got, so I wasn't sure if it was going to fit right.
And I see, like, a lot of times on those lock face inserts, when you unscrew them, you're taking them out because you're, especially if you're doing like anno, you're taking it out because it's got the ball in there, the lock detent ball. So you're taking all that out, so you're not worrying about that. You get used to taking them in and out all the time and seeing how they're set. But
right, and it was weird because the assembly, it has a little plate and the ball and the screw. And when my ball came out, somehow that little assembly just cracked, like a stress crack, and the ball fell out. So the whole thing didn't fail. That's just the way I had to replace it.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a defect from the factory.
Yeah. Oh, I sent him pictures, and they seemed to think it was. He was just apologetic because he didn't have the right color, but it doesn't matter to me. My hardware's black. So, Kyle, you got a busy weekend this weekend? Are you just sharpening, or you got anything planned?
No, I'm just trying to get caught up on this stuff, and then I got to do, hopefully if it stops
Howdy, Dylan.
Raining, I will be doing some yard work, unfortunately, but
yeah, my backyard's screaming it because it's been raining here all week. Kyle, I just DM'd Larry at Ammo. Hope he gets back to me. You know what that is, Kyle?
Yeah. Shut up, Dylan. You can't even see over your grass.
In the rain, baby.
Palm, if he doesn't, I'm sure he's got a website for an email. Email him.
Who are we trying to find?
There's a guy that is outside of the city, that between where Palm lives and the city, that does high-end car detailing that Palm would be interested in. I told him, because he's interested in detailing, I told him to go check him out and see if he's would do a shop tour, or even talk about maybe doing an internship or something.
Is it Diego's Mobile Auto Spa?
No.
Esoteric Detail?
Nope.
Killer Detailing?
Nope.
Dayton Detailing?
Nope.
Sammy's Auto Spa?
Nope. He already said it. It's Ammo NYC.
Oh, NYC. I wonder why they're not in there. NYC.
He does some of the most expensive and rare cars on Earth.
Oh, yeah. Ammo NYC. Got a YouTube page.
Yep.
Doesn't seem to have a website, but he's got a Reddit. Yeah, there you go. Auto Detail Doctor. Nope. All Things Fresh Mobile Car Detailing is open 24 hours a day. That's where I want to work. Kathleen, I'm the same way. I've got bunny rabbits that aren't eating the grass fast enough. I might have to bring some more in here.
We haven't had to do much yet. This is the first couple actual times to mow, so it's good that you actually have a little bit of yard though out there, Kathleen.
I've had to cut. This will be my third time when I cut tomorrow or Sunday.
I'm weird about it too. I bag everything, even though it's a good mulcher. I still bag. So because I don't have any restrictions for my trash, so I can put out as much as I want. So I'm very picky about when I do it because I can't do it when it's wet because then it just gets
all caked up.
Yeah, it just gets nasty.
It makes your yard a lot easier to cut if you bag it too.
Yeah.
I just kind of mulch mine down, but you pay for it.
Well,
so Kyle, are you going to make it up for said faction?
Yeah, I'll be up.
I'm trying to think if I want to go to Taco Bell or not. I didn't stop and get food before tonight, but
that's why I was late. I had food delivered.
What'd you order?
Some carbonara and bread, cheese bread.
Ooh, from where's that from? Chipotle?
No, local
Italian. Local Italian place.
Yeah,
very nice. Yeah, Richard, I've been cutting it probably I do deserve Taco Bell, but every now and then you've gotta fight the desire, fight the urge. And I feel like even though I'd love it, my stomach would regret it. You ordered your own food.
Yeah, Fidor. I can multitask, and I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a guest.
Just a capital yes. Well, Kyle, you got any parting words? I think I am going to go get some food before Stevie starts in 30.
No, I'm good, man. I'm just chilling.
Show your finger again so people know what not to do. That's captain's tape, isn't it?
Over top of the Band-Aid, the butterfly, or the steri strips, and the other stuff too. Yeah.
Everybody, be safe with your sharpening systems. Be safe with your knives. Do me a favor. Thank y'all for coming. Tomorrow, try to stop by the members live at 11 o'clock. It'll be short. I love each and every one of you. Kyle, you got anything lovely to say to these people?
Have a good night and a good weekend and be safe.
See y'all at said faction, guys.
Later.
Or over at Blessed Knives. Peace.